Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is 12 o'clock news break. In the local scene, the Albay Provincial Health Office will be distributing testing kits to different hospitals to combat pertussis emergence in the province. These kits are recently received by the province from the Department of Health, a new step forward in various disease control, particularly targeting the recent emergence of pertussis or whooping cough. Apart from the announced distribution of kits, PHO also conducted an orientation on its proper usage and a step-by-step process of transmitting the swab samples to the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine. In another story, the Albay Veterinary Office confirmed that the reported cases of African swine fever in the province of Albay have been brought under control. According to Provincial Veterinarian Dr. Pancho, the Department of Agriculture, together with their office, immediately conducted the population of all pigs, numbering 146 at the mentioned animal farm. Mela clarified that they did not call any other pigs aside from those within the breeding station because there were no other pig raisers within the 500-meter radius as required by law for the population. This marks the first case recorded in 2024 after over 2 years of being ASF-free in the province. It is also the first occurrence of ASF in the town of Camalig, and currently the DA is continuing its investigation into the possible cause of ASF entry into the said farm. In another news, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency BICO on Tuesday, April 16, urged all local government units in the region to open Balay Silangan reformation centers to provide a human and compassionate way to former drug users and peddlers to completely turn their lives around. Carlos Fernandez III, PIDEA Bicol Information Officer, said that reformation centers give the right tools in making the transition into productive members of the community much easier. He said that reformation centers provide a conducive home for the drug users and peddlers to completely changing their lives into better. In a statement, PIDEA Bicol Regional Director Edgar Hubay said the establishment of Balay Silangan Reformation Centers is a statement to the LGU's dedication and devotion to helping their residents and their community. For the national scene, the naval forces of the Philippines, the United States, and France will sail together in the West Philippine Sea next month. One of the highlights of the Balikatan exercise between the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the U.S. Armed Forces. Colonel Michael Lohico, Balikatan 2024 Executive Agent, said that 3 navies will hold the multilateral maritime exercise more than 12 nautical miles off the shorelines of Palawan. Lohico said the Philippine Coast Guard and the U.S. Coast Guard will also participate in the activity. For the Philippine side, 2 vessels from the Philippine Navy and 1 from the PCG will be used for the sea drills. The total number of the participating ships from the U.S. Navy, USCG, and French Navy has yet to be determined. Among the drills that will be conducted during the joint sails include division tactics, gunnery, search and rescue, and at-sea exercises. And this year's Balikatan is expected to be the biggest ever, Lohico said. In another story, the Land Transportation Office warned Tuesday, April 16, that it would go after unconsolidated jeepneys that continue to operate after the April 30 deadline. This after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said the government will no longer extend the deadline for consolidation of jeepneys under the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. Operators of Colorum jeepneys will face criminal charges while their vehicles will be impounded and those found guilty of operating public utility vehicles without a franchise can face up to 6 years imprisonment, Mendoza warned. For another news, the Pag-asa Agro-Meteorological Station in Atiague Town in Isabela recorded 40 degrees Celsius on the afternoon of April 15, which is the hottest temperature yet this year. This is the first time that 40 degrees Celsius temperature was recorded in the country since 2021. On June 5, 2021, Atiague and Tuguegarao City observed maximum temperatures of 40.1 and 40.2 degrees Celsius respectively. For other areas, logged temperatures of 38 degrees or higher, namely Camiling, Tarlac 39.8 degrees Celsius for Tuguegarao, 39.6 degrees for Science City of Muñoz, 38.4 degrees Celsius, and San Jose Occidental Mindoro, which has 38 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, Metro Manila also posted its hottest temperature so far for this year at 36.9 degrees Celsius in Naiya, Pasay City on Monday afternoon. These values represent the air temperature measured with the thermometer and used outside the country. The top U.S. diplomat for East Asia discussed Middle East developments, the South China Sea and Taiwan issues with Chinese counterparts in Beijing. The State Department said on Monday, April 15, the latest effort by the two countries to stabilize rocky ties. Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs Daniel Kritzenbrink met with Executive Vice Foreign Minister Ma Zhaoshu, as well as with Beijing's Taiwan's Affairs Office Deputy Director Xi Kaiming. The State Department said in a statement on the April 14 to 16 visit. The officials, including U.S. National Security Council Senior Director for China and Taiwan Sarah Beran and U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns, discussed bilateral, regional, and global issues including the Middle East, China's support for Russia's defense industrial base, cross-strait issues, South China Sea, and North Korea, the department said. In another story, the European Union will spend 3.5 billion euros or 3.71 billion US dollars to protect the ocean and promote sustainability through a series of initiatives this year, the EU's top environment officials said on Tuesday, April 16. The 40 commitments range from fighting marine pollution to supporting sustainable fisheries and investments in the so-called blue economy, which is sustainable use of marine and freshwater resources for economic activity. The commitments were announced during the annual Our Sea conference held in Athens, Greece this week and attended by about 120 countries. And finally, Australian police on Tuesday, April 16, said a knife attack on a Syrian church bishop and some followers in Sydney was a terrorist act motivated by suspected religious extremists, as the country reeled from a second stabbing incident in 3 days. At least 4 people were wounded in the attack, including Bishop Mar Marie Emmanuel of the Assyrian Christ the Good Shepherd Church, when a man launched him with a knife during a service live-streamed on Monday. The incident at the western Sydney suburb in Waikelee triggered clashes outside the church between police and an angry crowd of the bishop followers who demanded the attacker be handed over to them. Police arrested a male teenager at the scene on Monday and were forced to hold him at the church for his own safety as a crowd of worshippers gathered outside. And that's all for the 12 o'clock news break, April 17, 2024. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our 12 o'clock news break writer, Francia May Boras. And on the technical side, there's Richard Pobis. Our Provincial Information Officer, Merilu Duca Castillo, under the supervision of our Governor Greg Sugman. Pinch hitting for Mr. Greg Halyare. This has been your anchor for the day. I am Maria Elena Pancho. Thank you for subscribing.